Java and Python are both what we call object-oriented coding languages. So it kind of is logical to assume that objects are probably at least a little important. So what I'm going to try to unravel, at least in this video, is an understanding of what classes are, what objects are, how they're related, and how they kind of make sense in the conceptual organization and framework of the code that you're writing. And I've already kind of written a bit of a preview description on the board here. Classes are the prototype or template of some idea or concept, and objects are the actual thing itself. Let me give you an example to make this a little bit more clear. So let's imagine that I come up, I'm some genius living in a prior age, and I've thought of this great idea for a game where I need some randomization that's controlled and fair, and I come up with this concept of some kind of an object that has different sides, it's balanced, it's even, it's symmetrical, and it has different information on each side. And I decide on this name, I don't know, maybe I'll call it a dice. All right. How does a dice work? Well, it has some properties. A dice, I've decided for the games that I want to create, it's gonna be 6-sided, and it's gonna have diff numbers on each side. You got a beautiful view of my back for this. Different numbers on each side, and I want to make sure that it's symmetrical so that all the sides are fair. They're equally likely to be experienced or rolled, so there's fairness in the game. So I have this concept of a dice that's like a blueprint or a template, but right now it's just an idea. It's a fully formed concept with clear rules. It has properties, it has behaviors, it's able to be rolled, maybe is something too. Able to be rolled. Maybe we want to get even more specific here, but I think that's probably enough for the template for a dice. And next, it's not enough to play my game with just an idea. I need it, I need to have a clear framework for this stuff, but at some point, I need to actually somehow reach into the ether and, my little magic trick, pull out an actual dice. And this is the thing that this is meant to represent. But I actually have a thing that now I can play with. And if I roll it, here we go, I rolled a 6. Look at that, lucky day. I rolled a 6. So this dice is a fair number of symmetrical sides, and I'm able to roll a certain value. I got a 6 here. However, I could also, can I stick this right up by the camera here? Well, it's a little bit too low. So I'll put that right up beside it here. And now I'm going to reach in and pop out from this blueprint another dice. Now I have 2 of these things. I'm lucky today. I rolled a 5 this time. So now I have 2 different versions, 2 different implementations of this concept, this blueprint. These are objects that I can actually roll, and they can have different values, but they all behave in the way that dice do. They are formed based off of the rules, but they are each independent, individual entities inside of my world, inside of the code that I'm writing. And I can re-roll them to different values if I wanted to. I can make as many dice as I need for the game. All of them are built off the same singular prototype or class, but each of them is an individual different thing or object in my world. The process of going from prototype to thing, we call this instantiation. Instantiation, an instance. We're creating an instance of this idea. If you're a gamer, maybe you've been in a lobby and pressed join map, and then you and your buddies get to face off in a unique map against unique enemies. You're not the only ones playing the game though. There's other players all over the world in different versions of that same map, maybe millions of different copies. The map itself is built off a template made by the game designer, but your implementation or instantiated version, your instance, is your own thing that you can take part in, that maybe once it's done, it kind of closes down and kicks you out, but the thing is the object, the template is the class. And what we do in our coding, working in object-oriented mindset, is we write classes that define the templates and behaviors and attributes that we want conceptually, and then we instantiate them and actually perform operations and change the data and have logic play out between all these interacting objects to get our programs to run. But here you go. Here's the kind of the core conceptual framework of what a class and an object is. And in the next videos, you'll see how these are managed in Python and Java.